Hello everyone, Tyler's going to be here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the first Fourth Doctor adventure, Robot. So yeah, this is Tom Baker's first story. It also is the first story to feature Ian Marter as Harry Sullivan, although he was mentioned in the previous episode, Planet of the Spiders. And it also features UNIT, and it features Sarah Jane Smith, played by Elizabeth Sladen. So yeah, so basically this story continues on right after the end of Planet of the Spiders, where the Doctor's just regenerated and he's been taken off to the sick bay. And meanwhile, some robberies have been going on with the high-tech robot. So yeah, that's the basic premise. Tom Baker is brilliant in this. It's amazing because there are quite a few Doctors who take their time to kind of like find themselves, find their feet, but Tom Baker hit the ground running, I guess. And he seems the same in this as he does in a lot of his later stories. Now he does kind of change towards the end of his era, he gets a bit more comical, but here I think it's mostly the same as he'll be from up until season 6, well, I don't know, for about 4 years at least, I think. So, yeah, that's that. Interestingly, this the idea of regeneration isn't as prominent in this. I kind of like the idea this is his first story. I mean, if you jumped in on episode 2, I don't know why you do that, I don't know, but if you did, you probably have to be reminded that you'd probably have to have someone to tell you that this is his first story to know that it's his first story. There are probably some hints in there, but it's mostly just the first episode that are really about recovering from the regeneration. Whereas Spearhead from Space, a lot of that is really about recovering from the regeneration, really. Same with Castrovalva. I'm not sure about Twin Dilemma or what's the next one? Sorry. Same Time and Marley, I'm not sure about it. Although I think Time and Marley dwells on it quite heavily. The TV movie that dwells on it quite heavily. And Christmas Invasion, the Doctor spends most of that in the bed. And the 11th hour's not too bad, I don't think, but yeah. This is probably the one that features it the least prominently. So that's that. Is that necessarily a bad thing? I'm not sure. I think could have probably done with a little bit more. But overall, I'm not too annoyed with it. It's not really a big flaw. There is a very big flaw, I mean big in more ways than one, but I'll go on to that later. Sarah Jane is great in this. We get the last element of feminism and whatnot. The idea that she's like for the women's lib and whatnot. We get the last real hint of that here. And after that it kind of like very much just goes. Whereas it was kind of in her original character brief, I guess. For Time Warrior and whatnot, but here it's practically gone. Harry Sullivan does a great job. Ian Marter, sorry, does a great job as Harry Sullivan, being kind of like very much a real person, you know, someone you can really imagine seeing. Whereas Sarah, by this point, has kind of been with the Doctor for a bit too long. Not that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that it gives that kind of like grounded character in Harry, and he stays relatively the same throughout his time. The Brigadier is quite good in this one, I think. He's kind of played comically again, because he kind of jumps about the place a bit, the Brigadier. In some episodes he's been played, not that, this isn't necessarily Nicholas Courtney's fault, I think it's more the scripts, but the script kind of like plays him as on the bit more of a comical side. Not as badly as the Three Doctors does, but still, it's one of those cases. So yeah, that's that. I think, and Unit do an alright job in this. And one thing that the Brigadier does get quite a funny line in it. Well, funny part in it, not necessarily a line, where he shoots the robot and goes, well, looks like we won't need a doctor after all. He shoots the robot with a giant laser, and the robot turns to a massive, well, it grows in size till it's 10 stories high, I guess. It gets quite big. I think its size changed at the time. Now, on that topic, the big flaw in this is the robot. Not just the fact that it's CSO'd in, that can get quite annoying, but also the lower half of the robot is quite badly designed. I think it's pretty much invention of the dinosaur syndrome with this. A bit different because it's not model puppets and whatnot. So yeah, that's not too well done. Yeah, and also the fact that the ending in part 4, well, there's almost 3 of them really, because you get part 4 gets quite repetitive because you've got Unit breaking into the bunker and stopping the nuclear missile launch. Then you got Unit again stopping the second nuclear missile launch attempt, by the way, but and then finally you got the Doctor actually defeating the robot. Now, one part that I do like about the robot is the relationship it has with Sarah Jane, and the whole thing where she's trying to help it and everyone else is trying to kill it. And I think, yeah, it's that King Kong story, but it draws very heavily on that. But still, I think it's quite good really. It gives that human element to it. And Tom Baker as the 4th Doctor, he does an amazing job. He definitely puts distance between himself and the previous Doctor, Jon Pertwee. So yeah, that's quite good on that part. And that's pretty much all there is to say about Tom Baker. He's well settled in the role already, he's funny, and he just does a great job. And arguably, he's better hitter than he is in some of his final appearances. So, yeah, I think that's all there is to say about that. So, I think overall I'll go 7 out of 10 on this one. It's a good introduction story for Tom Baker, but he still kind of has some, well, quite honestly, because Barry Letts is still producer at this point. This is the last one he produced. He was producer for almost all of Jon Pertwee's run. So I think it definitely still has a lot of Pertwee elements in the storytelling and whatnot. Also, want to just popping back a bit, there is a it's not even a model shot CSO did or anything. They literally got a camera angle for a scene where a tank drives in to shoot a robot. They literally done it from far away, rolled a tank in with a little mound, so it's made to look as if it's a big tank next to this robot, but actually it's just a little toy tank not so far away. It doesn't work. It's a nice try to do something other than CSO, but it doesn't work. You can't like tell that it's a toy, really. So yeah, I think 7 out of 10. Storytelling's okay. It's a bit off in places. Hilda Winters is a great villain on the most part. She kind of loses all sanity towards the end and then practically disappears halfway through part 4. So yeah, she's a great villain, but not used well enough. So yeah, I think 7 out of 10, as I was saying, because there are so many good elements, but they don't necessarily fall into place correctly, and there are some quite big flaws. Big robot, big flaw, and the storytelling and the repetitive ending. It's a fun story, but it all doesn't really fall into place properly, as I've hoped it would. So yeah, I think that pretty much is all I can say about that one. Thank you for watching this review, and I'll see you next week with a story which I don't know yet. So yeah, thanks for watching everyone, and bye everyone.